You're a head coach tomorrow, but more importantly, you're still an offensive coordinator.
Correct.
So for you, what are you looking to get out of, or Saturday? What are you looking to get out of it? How will you approach everything?
Well, it's obviously the teams are split. So some of the chemistry is not going to be what it is, but you're still hoping to see that execution. And it's our last opportunity to evaluate. We only get three full scrimmages, and this is a live scrimmage. And so just want to see the guys be consistent and make sure that they don't taper off. They don't go through the motions, but they use this as an opportunity to springboard into the summer, because leadership is something that we got to continue to emerge offensively. I think we got some guys that can step up and do it. They just got to do it, on the grass when it matters, and this is an opportunity for them to do it. I want to see the quarterbacks continue to compete. It's been the last half of spring after spring break has been very, very competitive at that position. Each guy has had his day, but you definitely see that they're competing. I want to see the backs continue to challenge each other. That's been probably one of the best competitions that I've been around in coaching those three guys and how they've competed against each other. I want to see the tight ends, make some plays, be physical in the running game. So there's a lot of things that we can evaluate through the scrimmage.
Do you think you'll have a pecking order or a depth chart at quarterback, running back, tight end, center coming out of spring camp?
I don't know. That's tough to say. I think running back, it's going to be hard. All three of those guys the one will have to run on the field first. So we'll have a pecking order, but it'll be a short list. I think, last year, Wayne distanced himself from the other guys, and it was noticeable. But here, there's not much change. And three, they're all comparable. So I think that we'll have a pecking order. Quarterback, obviously it's been week to week. One scrimmage is Eric, one scrimmage is Kelly. Hunter has the best scrimmage. So I think coming out of it is probably go into the summer and into fall camp when you get another opportunity to let those guys lead this summer and see how they respond. And, center, I think Elliott is a guy that solidified himself at center. He's had a really good spring, but quietly been very, very pleased with Gage Cervenka. You're talking about a guy that played defense his whole life. He makes a transition, and I think that he came in wanting to be Jay, and there's only one Jay. And once he figured out that he just needs to be who he is and just go to work and put his head down, you've seen just a tremendous amount of improvement at the center position. And then tight end, I would say Milan is the guy coming out of spring with those other guys trying to earn some playing time.
How important is it for the quarterback evaluation process for those guys to be live on Saturday?
It's really helped us because you get into the first scrimmage and especially for a guy like Kelly, and then we learned and what we learned is that Hunter can run the football. We learned that Zarek can run the football. Where obviously those guys are known for their arm talent and their pocket presence. But you take the bullets and you let them come live at them, and they extend some plays. And I think that really helped us in the last two scrimmages. We'll be able to get some rhythm on offense, because again, if Cleveland runs by and gets a fingernail on them, they blow the whistle when they're not live. But when he's got to wrap up and those guys can step up in the pocket and extend plays, then you really get to see not just their athletic ability, but just their pocket presence, their game management, their gamesmanship. So it's critical piece of evaluation when they're live.
Is that a tough decision to make as coaches, knowing it does increase the injury risk?
It is a tough decision, and I think had the circumstances been different and it wasn't such a close battle, you might err on the side of not being live with those guys. But when you got three guys legitimately vying for the spot and it's close, and you need that live evaluation to see who's going to be the guy when the live bullets are coming out. They know they're getting hit. Who's going to make the plays that need to be made?
Coach said Kelly tweaked his hamstring the other day. So you feel like you'll be able to play Saturday?
Yeah, I believe so. He came out today and didn't notice much of a limp, and he was encouraged. He's on my team, so I hope he's going to play. That's why I picked that team. Well, that's why I was hoping I got that offense, because I had Kelly. But he was shot out of a cannon. Design quarterback run. He hit it and just tweaked it a little bit, and I don't think it was as bad. And I think it was just more precaution, just trying to make sure we can get him to the game.
All of you coaches have talked about how competitive it's been the whole spring. Were you maybe worried a little bit coming into the spring, coming off a championship, the guys might feel a little bit entitled when they step on the field?
Not worried about entitlement, but as much as, okay, we lost so much offensively and defense has so much coming back, okay, are we going to be able to compete with them? And I've been pleasantly surprised at how our guys have just stepped up to the challenge, especially these last two live scenarios that we've had. Our guys have had great energy, been able to make some plays versus a very, very talented defense. And so that was the biggest challenge is, okay, are we going to rise to the occasion physically and mentally to challenge our defense, not so much from their entitlement standpoint.
As you look back on the spring as a whole, what do you feel like are the biggest ways where this team has grown from where they started to where they are right now?
I just think the confidence in the quarterbacks. I think you walk out here day one, you got 3 guys that haven't really played much. I think Kelly, the only one that's played any, and you got 2 freshmen. So I think, the leadership was kind of looking around to see who it was going to be. But I think they now have confidence in all 3 of those guys. And so that allowed us to get better at some things. I thought our short yardage goal line was improved this spring, something that was an issue for us last year, and we just went back to the drawing board. Didn't change a whole lot, but tweaked a couple of things, and looked at some personnel matchups, things we could do better. And I thought the guys responded. I thought the backs, they improved just their physicality and their pad leverage. They're running hard, they're breaking tackles, they're hard to deal with, and they've gotten better catching the ball out of the backfield. The young emergence of the receivers, especially in TJ Chase and Cornell Powell and even Overton. Overton probably had the most on him this spring, with everybody challenging him to be, to step up, because he's a guy that we're expecting to be in there behind Dion. And we know as many plays that we play, one guy can't play every snap, so we need a legitimate, double team at that 9-man position, and really seeing him respond to how we challenged him, and then, the way he responded to how the defense challenged him every day. So, a lot of positive coming out of it. And then I like what happened when we came back from spring break. You saw a lot less of just the deer in the headlights, confusion. Guys looked a lot more calm, a lot more confident, and so you started just to see us execute with more precision and more consistency.
As a coach, what are your expectations for Saturday? What are the biggest things you want to see from this team on Saturday?
Well, that we don't take a step back, that we continue to compete, that we play with great energy, that we're focused. I want to see how the young guys are going to respond in the stadium in a live situation with the crowd. You never know. Some of these guys have never been, in the Valley playing, so you want to see that. I want to see some chemistry develop when you're playing next to a guy that you might not have been playing to every single snap during the spring, because the teams are split up. So just see how the guys respond to the adversity that's created by dividing the team, and then making sure that they're not going through the motion to take advantage of this, because as I told them before we broke this last practice, it's been a really, really good spring. We've made a lot of progress, but the key to our success in the fall is what we do between now and the time we get to the fall. And so this game is a springboard to send us into the summer so that we can have great preparation for the fall.
How excited are you just to get out there in front of that crowd again?
I think it's going to be I'm excited about the halftime. To see these seniors come back and get their rings. We had our time yesterday night with our families here, with the team that's here to get our rings, but we're really, really excited for the seniors and for the crowd to see, those guys and their opportunity to be honored with their ring. But then just being back in front of the home crowd, and it's going to be special.
You mentioned that you've seen a growth in confidence and leadership with the quarterbacks. In what ways have you noticed that?
Well, the biggest thing is just their gamesmanship and the way they command the huddle, the way that they're communicating to the offensive line. You're not having to help those guys from the sideline, to help them with calls, protection calls, direction calls, run schemes, pass schemes. You're starting to see those guys step up and like Deshaun will do all the time, get up in that huddle, just command it, talk to them, not look frustrated, not look flustered. Those are the kind of things that you look for as a coach when you start to see that leadership. And then now, as that confidence grows, their leadership's only going to get even better because they're more confident.
Is the quarterback battle the biggest question mark going into this, or are there other players or positions you're hoping to get some more clarity on?
I think the quarterback is the biggest position because everybody looks at that position, and that's the leader of our offense, and rightfully so. And there's 3 guys vying for that spot. I think that at running back, you can get away with playing 3 guys, playing 2 guys. I think at quarterback, you kind of want to have that. And some people have done dual quarterback systems, but most time you just have one guy that kind of takes the reins. So I would say that's the biggest position.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.